What's up, guys? This is Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our Week 6 team builder for W.A.I.L.O.R.D or the Wonderful Amateur Invitational League of Ridiculous Drafts. This is my second take. My mic was screwing up the first time, so we're redoing this. But this week we were taking on the Valley City Vivillons and my good friend Ben. He is 2-2 plus 2 at the moment. I'm recording this early because my cousin is coming for a trip next week, and I won't have time to film team builders probably at all. Honestly, I probably won't even have time to prep. I'm just gonna have to battle on like my laptop or something, because I'm probably not gonna be able to get into my computer room very often while she's here. I want to be spending time with my cousin because I don't see her very often. Anyways, yeah. So Ben's team, he has the Empoleon, Jolteon, Haunter, Pangoro, Turtonator, Claydol, Audino. All three of those are Z users. Whimsicott, and then his last three are all Z users as well. Tornadus, Incarnate, Armaldo, Glalie. Priority in Empoleon with Aqua Jet, Jolteon with Quick Attack, Pangoro with Bullet Punch, Armaldo with Aqua Jet, and Haunter with Sucker Punch. Hazard setting in Empoleon with Stealth Rock, Claydol with Stealth Rock, Armaldo with Stealth Rock, and Glalie with Spikes. Removal options in Empoleon with Defog, Claydol with Rapid Spin, Whimsicott with Defog, Tornadus Incarnate with Defog, and Armaldo with Rapid Spin. 4x weaknesses in Pangoro to Fairy and Whimsicott to Poison. I really wish my first take would have gone through, man. I don't like doing these twice, especially when it's almost dinner time and I need to be eating. Haunter and Glalie aren't coming. I don't think they're coming. Haunter is just a free switch into P2, and we'll talk about that in a sec. Turtonator is his best Armanitan answer. It's probably coming. Pangoro is his best P2 answer. It's probably coming. Glalie sucks. It's an Unmon. It's probably not coming. Mega Glalie is actually half decent, though. I'm actually considering drafting that in NCL Season 3. Rindoberry Seismitoad on our side. This is my rocker for the week, and Special looks better against everything except the Jolteon. I wanted to bring Physical because Jolteon has decent special attack, or special defense, sorry, and Earthquake would do a lot more than Earth Power will, but Earth Power looked better against the Empoleon, and I wanted Scald to burn things like the Pangoro, so that's what we got that there for. Icy Wind is there for speed control. If I need to click it, Scald hits everything that Icy Wind would for about the same damage, just because of the difference in base power. Icy Wind's a base 55% move, and Scald's a base 80 move plus stab, so it sort of ends up being about the same. Yeah, or close enough at the very least. So we're running max HP, max defense. This is our defensive wall for things like Pangoro as well. I don't really care about getting knocked off. The Rindoberry is nice to live a hit from the Whimsicott and maybe Icy Wind it, but again, not the end of the world. Rocks are important against this team just for a little bit of chip, but they don't matter a whole lot. Our win condition is their Darmanitan, in the back, and we'll talk about that at the end. Spit FP2 is coming. Trace to trace the Volt Absorb from the Jolteon and get a boost from that. Or, you know, we could trace Prankster from the Tornadus and get Prankster Recovers off, which would be really cool. Prankster on the Whimsicott as well. He's got a nice Prankster core there. We could trace Levitate from Haunter or Claydol. Shell Armor from the Turtonator so we can't get crit. That'd be really broken. We could trace Regenerator from the Audino, which could be really cool. So there's a lot of really good abilities that I can trace. Bolt Beam covers this entire team. Honestly, the only reason I need Thunderbolt is for the Empoleon. Toxic is nice against things, but it's not necessary. It's really only there for the Audino and Recover for recovery. Fully Spit F, that's pretty much P2. Bring a Scarf Rampardos. Rock Slide hits everything except for the Claydol, the Pangoro, and the Empoleon. Which is what I have some things here for. So Crunch is going to hit the Claydol, Earthquake is going to hit the Empoleon, Superpower is going to hit the Pangoro, Superpower is also a roll to kill the Audino. Max Speed actually lets us speed tie Scarf Pangoro, but the real reason I had it on there is because we're outspeeding Tornadus Incarnate by 1 point with that, with the Scarf, and we got Max Attack. Next up is Machamp. We're bringing Banded Machamp with Dynamic Punch, Ice Punch, Knockoff, and Bullet Punch. He has very few Dynamic Punch switch-ins on his team, and nothing wants to get confused. So the only thing that can actually switch into Dynamic Punch without being crippled by the confusion is the Haunter. Knockoff covers a lot of his team. He gets rid of some items, and Ice Beam covers his Dynamic Punch resists in Claydol, Whimsicott, and the Tornadus. Bullet Punch is there to revenge kill things. Max Attack Adamant. We don't need speed on this, so I'm running max HP as well. We're bringing Yanmega, Life Orb Yanmega. This is our dedicated lead with the Tinted Lens plus Life Orb. Defog. This is my only defogger this week. I opted to not go with Rotom-Mow, despite Rotom-Mow looking reasonably decent against his roster, just because I thought that Yanmega was a decent breaker, and he has no switch-ins to Tinted Lens Bug Buzz. What was I called? Oh yeah, Claydol, if it's offensive, gets one-shot by Bug Buzz. His real answer to this is Empoleon. And he's really going to have to choose between being physically defensive and especially defensive with Empoleon. I don't know which one he's going to go with. Especially defensive would make sense. He could run like Aurora Empoleon to deal with my Duosion, because if Pangoro's dead or he doesn't bring Pangoro, Duosion smacks his team. It's 6-0s 100% by itself. I actually have another set on the Darmanitan that's 6-0s 100%, but there you go. Air Slash, I have no need for. Maybe I'll fund something. I really had no better move to put in that slot besides maybe U-Turn and Roost because we're running Life Orb. I actually really despise the item Life Orb if you're not running Recovery or you don't have Regenerator. I really think that Life Orb is a bad item unless you can recover. I don't like weakening yourself for no point, for no reason, unless you're a Sheer Force Pokemon, and then it makes a lot of sense as well because there's no downside to running Life Orb at that stage. Like something like Sheer Force or Darmanitan can run Life Orb relatively well. The only thing is that you're clicking like U-Turn and Earthquake, which hurt you, and you're switching on Rocks, so it's not great. But something like Nidoking can really use it because you're running Sheer Force, like 4 Sheer Force moves all the time. Max Speed lets us Speed type Haunter. Max Special Attack, very straightforward. Last but not least, we're bringing a Sub-Select Belly Drum Darmanitan with Fire Punch and Earthquake. Everything dies to a +6 Fire Punch except for Turtonator, which is what we're bringing the Earthquake for. He actually doesn't have a lot that would want to run an Occaberry either, only the Whimsicott, and it's dying to a +6 Fire Punch through Occaberry. So, yeah, he's got nothing for this. And basically, the plan is to sort of bait him with Scarf Darmanitan, be able to bait around Scarf Darmanitan, get a sub up. The only things that are going to beat me are like Scarf Whimsicott, Scarf Tornadus, and Scarf Jolteon. I don't think any of those are coming, excuse me, because he can speed creep over my slow team, which makes this all the more better with the Select Berry, where we'll outspeed everything afterwards. Fire Punch, again, deals with everything except for Turtonator, which is what Earthquake's there for. Max Speed, Max Attack, and I have an even amount of HP, which you normally see me never have, but I need to be even. So after a sub plus a Belly Drum, I can proc my Select Berry. That's the strat there. I really hope Rocks aren't up because then I can't sub plus Belly Drum, but I could Belly Drum on his switch into Turtonator potentially. I just wouldn't be behind a sub, which would suck. So hopefully this can win. It is a really good win con against him, but I'm not sure if it'll actually do anything, and hopefully my mic doesn't screw up this time. I'll catch you guys for the match. We play Ben in week 6 of W.A.I.L.O.R.D.